Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I'm going to do it. I'm going to attempt the latest IcyFruit puzzle, Big Bad Wolf, and I love the title because it looks like it is a big bad wolf sort of chomping on well, maybe if there was a Red Riding Hood here, or was it the grandmother that the big bad wolf ate? I can't remember. But anyway, there's a great big bad wolf in the grid. Oh, absolutely bizarre rule set. No 3x3 boxes. And some of you may remember that quite recently there was an IcyFruit puzzle. Was it called Tiger? Taiga, that took me 3.5 hours to solve on the channel. It's the longest Sudoku video we've ever made. And, well, this one might be like that. Lots of you have requested it because you've struggled to finish it. So I'm recording this much earlier than usual because if it does go wrong, hopefully I will give myself time to record something else before the 8:30 deadline, because we wouldn't want there not to be a Cracking the Cryptic video today, given that there has been one every single day. Well, there's been one by both of us every single day since the first day of lockdown in the UK, which is, I mean, it's years ago, years and years and years ago. Yes, so I don't want to break that run. Yeah, and I'll read the rules of this in a moment or two's time. Whenever I attempt one of these massive puzzles, I try to keep the introduction short because I'm well aware I might have to do the introduction again later in the day if this all goes wrong, and I have to do another puzzle. So what else can I tell you? Just a few things quickly to mention. Over on Patreon, we have got our Sudoku Hunt competition for the month of April, themed on April Fools. There are still 3 days left if you want to get your entries in. We've had well over 500 correct entries, and thousands of you have tried the first few puzzles, so really well done. Keep going. The chance to win a handmade cushion cover, Sudoku themed cushion cover from Emily Williams is there. And in fact, last month's competition winner, Dominic, he and I made a video last night in which we attempted a puzzle Mark had selected for us called Fault Lines by 789. Absolutely brilliant puzzle. What a puzzle that is. And we had great fun. So that was last month's prize, and Dominic was an absolute star. So that video will appear on the channel soon. Now, what else? So go over to Patreon, best puzzle club in the world, and I've got some birthdays to do, so let me do those. Well, this one's for yesterday, but I only got the notification about this birthday yesterday evening. So forgive me, Lauren, for not wishing you happy birthday yesterday. You're over in Chicago. You turned 22 yesterday, and Lauren has been watching every day for 5 years. That's fantastic. Maybe that's when we start. That must be roughly when we started doing 2 videos a day. So Lauren, I hope you get chocolate cake today. Someone who I also know is a big fan of chocolate cake down there in Brazil is Giovanna. And Giovanna, you've turned 18 today. And I know this because your boyfriend Theo wrote to us and said you might appreciate a shout out. So happy birthday. I hope the chocolate cake is good. And then finally, Laura, it's your birthday today. And I know this because your boyfriend Damien wrote to us. And the two of you watch every night and play a game of guess what colour shirt I'm going to be wearing. Well, today I've got my green, almost Augusta green shirt on, although this is not from Augusta. This is from another great course in Georgia, in the States, called East Lake, which I managed to play a few years ago in 2018, if I remember rightly. Absolutely sensational golf course, and the home of the Tour Championship still. Anyway, that's by the by. I've got a green shirt on. Let's have a look at Big Bad Wolf by IcyFruit, the terrifying IcyFruit, and we will read the rules. Let's hope I'm in a Taravangian, clever mood today. My brain doesn't feel like it's being particularly clever today. Naughty brain. Anyway, divide the grid into orthogonally connected regions. Yeah, okay. I've already got a problem with that wording. I think what that means is divide the grid into regions of orthogonally connected cells. So let's try and think about that. So that is not a region, I don't think. That could be a region because all of the cells share edges. Place a digit 1 to 9 in every cell. Oh, let's restore that region, such that each digit appears exactly once in every row, column and region. So it's basically chaos construction Sudoku. So if this was a region, let's build another region. That's 9 cells, so that could be a region. That could be a region, etc. And into each of these colours you have to put the digits 1 to 9 such that you don't repeat a digit in every row and every column as well. So normal chaos construction is how we could describe that. Now, region boundaries divide the line into segments. The digit in the nth cell of a segment indicates the position of the digit n on that segment. Now, if we stop there, I think that means that this is a so-called index line, which is a creature, not a big bad wolf creature, but it is a creature I've come across in videos before. Now I'm going to have to try and do an example here, aren't I? Let's try and think about this. So let's say this was a region. So this is some other region over here. We'll make it. These are all other regions. Okay, so let's focus on the yellow region. The digit in the nth cell of a segment. So this is a 4-cell segment. The digit in the nth cell of the segment. So let's say that digit. Oh, I see. Yeah, so it is an index line. So if this was a 2, counting from here, this is the 3rd cell along the segment. So it's positioning the 3. So whatever digit you put, you could put a 3 in there in index itself, but if you put a 2 in there, it's saying write the 3 into the 2nd position along the segment. Now, the next line complicates things hugely though, because it then says positions are counted starting from 1 at an end of the segment, which must be determined. So if we did have this situation, we don't know whether this is the 1st cell of the segment or this is the 1st cell of the segment, and that makes a huge difference because of the count. Because if this was a 2 counting from this end, it's in the correct position. It's indexing the position of 2. It's the 2nd cell on the segment. And then it says different segments may count in different directions relative to the line. So we can't even assume, if we worked out that this was the 1st cell in the yellow segment, that doesn't mean that this is the last cell in the green segment. The green segment could also count from this cell going this way. So, I mean, that's absolutely horrible in terms of, not horrible in terms of, it's just horrible. It's horrible in the sense that even if you get a region in the puzzle, you're not going to know how to count the region's index line until you can work out enough about the digits that could be on that segment to sort of get into the logic of the region. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, as so often with IcyFruits, 5 stars out of 5 for difficulty. I'm probably going to be here in about 6 hours' time. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Okay. Now, okay, I do know one secret about index lines. And that secret is, if we sort of saw it here, if you have an index line of length 7, for example, that is going to have the digits 1 to 7 on it. Because imagine you put an 8 on an index line of length 7, what would that 8 be telling you? It would be saying to put a digit wherever the 8 was. Say the 8 was in the second position. It would be saying write the digit 2 in position 8. Now position 8 doesn't exist. So that cannot be right. So what I'm thinking is, well, I'm thinking row 2 is interesting. Nearly column 2 is interesting. Oh no, actually that, for some reason column 4 looked good for me, but that's actually got 2 spaces in it. And the reason I think row 2 is definitely interesting is that, I'm about to say something completely facetious. The thing about a row of a Sudoku is it contains all of the digits 1 to 9, including the digit 9. So in this row somewhere is the digit 9, and it is on the line. It is on the big bad wolf. So it must be part of a 9-cell sequence, right? So what that means, because the regions we're drawing are going to divide this line into segments. Imagine there's a 9 here. That 9 is saying that the line segment that the region the 9's in, it has to occupy the whole of its box. In fact, oh no, it could be 9. Yeah, if that was the 9, just here's a little point here. If that was the 9 segment of which this is a part cannot be those 2 cells as well. Because if all of those 3 were in the same region, that would be in the region, and that would be a 10th cell in that region, because 9 cells of the region have to be on the line in order to get to a count of 9. So if that was the... No, that can't be the 9, because that's going to isolate row 1, column 1. No, that can't be the 9, because however I draw the 9-cell segment, it's going to isolate this cell within the region, which it cannot be. That one can't be for the same reason. Oh no, well that's never going to be a 9 because it's not in row 2. What about that one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, bobbins. Okay, we've already found one that could be right. Just give me a second here. I just want to think about whether there is an obvious reason why that can't be a 9. Because there might be. So what's that one? If this is a 9, let's just write 9 in there. If that's 9, this segment... Well, I mean, we don't have a clue what this region looks like, do we? This one. How does that work? How does it work if you go into... Right. This is big. I had not grokked this at all from the rules, but I have just grokked it now. Okay. I am actually going to claim that... Well, I'm going to claim this... what I'm looking at is the region that is implied but for this square here. Now I'm going to draw that region in so far as I can. It could be those 5. Well, the point is it would have to take those 8, wouldn't it? And then its 9th cell would be here or here. Now that got me wondering, how does that work in terms of the rules? Because, let's just make it there for the sake of exposition. What? This is a segment. Because this is this is part of some new region down here. Let's draw in it. This is a segment. Now, what number do we put into there? And the point is, that has to be a 1, because it's a 1-cell segment. But then, how can you have... You can't have... This is the point. You can't have 2 different segments within the same region, because each segment will have a 1 on it, and depending on how long the segment is, it might have... if you had 2 segments of length 2, you'd have 2 2s as well. But the point is, you can't even have one... You can't even have 2... You just can't have 2 segments, because each segment will definitely have a 1 on it, and you can't put 2 1s in the same region. So, what that means is that is not a 9. So I'm actually going to lose all of my information. But the first position 9 could be in row 2 is there, so I'm going to write 9 in there. Now, see, but hang on. So when I put 9 in here, I then extended the segment that way. And that's correct, because I couldn't go backwards from the 9 without isolating this cell. Oh, this is complicated. This is complicated, because this 9, the segment of which that's a part, I know it can't go back to here, because we've worked out that this can't be in a 9-cell segment because of the implied segment here. But 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, we can't go further than that, actually. Because if we go further than this, does that mean... Hang on, does that mean... No, it doesn't mean that's a 9. Oh, bobbins. I think the 9's in one of 2 places. I think. Because... I mean, I have to check over here, but I think that's going to isolate this. Yeah, okay, I don't really know how to pencil mark this, but let's start with this square and say, what 9-cell segment could that be part of? And the problem is I could go up to here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So that, I think, is a possible 9-cell segment. You can see every cell within that region is on the line, so that would work in theory. But let's imagine this cell wasn't in the 9-cell segment. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. That segment, every cell of that segment is on the line. And that means the 9 could go here. Oh, bobbins. So if the 9's there, but I count backwards, this is really complicated. Okay, maybe I can rule this out from being a 9. Yeah, that can't be a 9, because whether the 9 goes backwards or forwards, it's going to isolate cells, or those cells, in fact. That can't be a 9 for the same reason, and that can't be a 9 for the same reason. We're either isolating here or here. So the 9 in row 2 is in one of 3 positions. But, okay, but the actual region that's going to emanate from the 9 that we put in, there's only 2 of those regions. In fact, that's a good point. Every cell that has 2 colours in it here is undeniably in the region that has the 9 in it. Although I don't know if the 9 goes there. I do know 8 cells of this region, which is quite interesting. And, oh, can I do the same trick on if 1, 2, 3, 4? Oh, no, you rotten thing. Yeah, okay, I suppose I could have grokked that from the fact I was... Yeah, because I bumped into one of those cells with the problem we established if this was the 9, didn't I? But look, I don't know whether that's, that's in the region that's coming into these squares, because whatever region this one's in, this one here, it clearly has to get to there, because it's got to be a 9-cell region. So it's going to incorporate all of these squares. You can't get another region into this top bit. So that is the minimum size of this top left region. It might include this one, and if it doesn't include this one, it does include this one. But that is another 8 cells of stuff that we've identified. Now, what on earth does that mean? Does that mean, okay, so the longest segment these 4 could be a part of would be if that is also yellow. So these squares have to be from the digits 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 5 if this is yellow, 4 if that's purple. So, no. I mean, so within the panoply of digits that are yellow, the digits 1, 2, 3 and 4 are definitely in. The problem is if that's yellow, that could be a 1, 2, 3 or 4. And then you could have 5 over here. Oh, I don't know then. Okay. So what region's that in? That's not in purple, but can't be. What I'm thinking here is it's a bit like the point we've discovered with yellow earlier. This, well, there's many things about this too that's weird. First thing that's weird is that I can only overlap one line segment anywhere in the puzzle with this green region. Because let's say I took those 2 cells into green, this would be a 1, 2 pair then. But a 2 is not on a line within the green region. So somehow the green region has to be built to have 9 cells in it, overlapping one line segment only. Because remember, we can't say overlap here and separately overlap there. They would be 2 1s on each segment. You see, that's really... I think... Yeah, okay, so we don't know. We don't know. I think that green has to come down through... has to do something like, cross there, or cross there, or cross here, or... No, it can't go that way. Well, could it go... No, because it's used its crossing and I can't get from there to there then. No, it's really constrained. Oh, you know what I should do? I know what I should do. How remiss of me. I should border the puzzle with a black line. I mean, this is practically solving it. There we go, we've nearly finished now. We can draw some some thingies in, can't we? Blue, we don't know whether blue is purple. Do we know that blue is not green? Yes, we do. Because if blue was green, this would be the only line segment that could be in the green region, so we could extend it 5 cells, but 6 cells actually. It's better than I thought, but it's still nowhere near 9. So whatever region that's in is not. I mean, this could be purple, but if it's not purple, it's not green. Right. So, what on earth do we do now then? Do we have to think about 8 in this row? I've got an 8 in the grid. That can't be an 8. Is that helpful? The thing is, I could just put 8. Like, if that's an 8 and that's a 9, that'll be fine, because we know that there's a 9-cell segment in purple. I mean, okay, maybe that is how to think about it then. So imagine the 8 was not in purple in this row. Where could it go? Its first possible position would be here, and an 8 would have to be part of a line segment that's at least 8 long, and that cannot be true, because if this was an 8 and not in purple, the segment would go there, and these 2 cells would be in that region, but not able to be the digits 1 to 8. That cannot work. That would be a 10-cell region. So that would not be where the 8 would be. Now, if the 8 was here, again, it couldn't take that cell above it in the segment, because that's going to isolate 2. So it would have to go straight across. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it doesn't work, because I've got 2 cells here. See, I've drawn a sort of 3 shape in the grid, but row 3, column 9 and row 4, column 8 are both now in the region, but wouldn't be on the line. So that can't be an 8. What about that one? 1. Oh, that can't be an 8 for a very easy reason. Oh dear. Okay, there's an 8 there. So can that be an 8? I don't think so. I think you're going to get the same problem if you build. You're going to have a problem with those 2 squares. Right, so 8 is in one of those 3 squares, definitely. Because it's definitely in the same region as purple. And remember, blue might be purple. Okay, let's try the same with 7. 7's going to be more difficult, because those 2 could be, if they were the digits 8 and 9, they could live in a region, couldn't they? Okay, but let's try anyway. So if this is 7, not in purple, it's got to be part of a region that's... No, that's still not going to work. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I've isolated 2 cells in row 1 and this cell. That's a 10-cell region. And in fact, that cell's not even in the region, because it's sort of diagonally connected. But that doesn't work. So the 7 would have to be here. But a 7 there, it could go up this time. No, it can't go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've isolated that one and those 2. So it would have to not go up. So it would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bobbins. And then those 2 would be 8 and 9. Okay, actually... Well, that doesn't work. No, actually it does. Oh, hang on, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, actually. I'm actually not sure about that. Can that be a region in this puzzle? Now, I don't think there's a problem. There might be a problem, but I can't see what it is with that basic structure. But there is a problem with this cell, I think. Because the region that emanates from this has to only bump into one line segment. 1, 2, 3, 4. It would have to come through here. 5, 6. We know it's not part of green. 7, 8, and then its 9th cell will bump it into the line again. And that will be 2 segments in the same region. I mean, that is very, very difficult to see, but it is true. So that's not 7. Unfortunately, I suspect it's going to get easier now. If that's 7, we know that the segment can't start here. That's what we've just proved. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those two join. That is a 9-cell region that's forced, but this cell is not part of that region, so it would require a 10th cell to join it up. So that's wrong. What about that one? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That one and that one, it doesn't work. Beautiful. Right. Right. So hang on. Have I just proved that that has to be purple? I'm not sure. I said that if that was 7 and not purple, that definitely doesn't work. If that was 7, I think I have. I think I've proved that this has, well, not that specific cell, but I think I've proved in this row 7 is not capable of not being in purple, because wherever I put it and however I build the segment out of it, it doesn't work. The most complicated one being that one extending that way, because that can create a region, but the region implied by that from here doesn't work. So in fact, this is purple, and that is not purple. So this is yellow, and I've now done 2 regions of the puzzle out of nowhere. And there's a new region there. Might as well make that blue. This, I think, has to be 7, 8, 9. We should probably think about how this works for the line here with the indexing, shouldn't we? And we're going to have to still consider 6 in... Oh, hang on, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm really tempted to do? This is an appalling admission. But I am tempted in this puzzle to make those 6, 7, 8, 9. I am going to do it, actually. I normally wouldn't. But because I would get too cluttered. But puzzles like this, I feel, I may be proved wrong, I feel that I'm going to have to get so little information in the grid, any information is going to be worth recording. So if it turns out I end up with a grid where every cell has 4 or 5 pencil marks in it, then I was wrong, because I won't be able to scan that properly. But here, I do sort of think that's interesting. Now, how does this line work then? Well, okay, where's the 2 in purple? There is the answer. So, oh, that's ridiculous. None of those, even though they look like they must do, none of those is indexing the 2, whichever way round the line goes. If this is the start of the line, that cell would index the 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be a 4 or a 5. Okay, let's try it the other way. If that indexes the... if this cell indexes the 2, so the line starts from here. 1, 2, 3, 4... that would be a 5 or a 6. Oh, that's weird. Okay, one of these is indexing the 1 into the 7th, 8th or 9th position. So if that is the start of the line, the 1 would be in one of the 1. Oh, the 1 would be here. But if that's the start of the line, the 1 would be here. So the 1 is in one of... Oh no, hang on. Yeah, that is right, I think. If that's the first cell on the line, the 1 goes into position 7, 8 or 9, and you can see it's not in position 7 or 9, so it would be here. That would be an 8, and that would be a 1. And the other way round, we can't put it in position 9. This would be a 7 or an 8, so the 1 is in one of those 3 cells in purple. I was going to say box 2. I mean, that's probably not a ridiculous way to describe it. Right. Okay, so where do you think we look now? Do we think about this segment? Or do we think about this segment? Can they all be the same? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you had... If you had all of those... Well, hang on. There does have to be a 6 here. There does, because in this row there has to be a 6. So what does that look like? Okay, let's imagine that's a 6. Now, if that is a blue 6... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how... Yeah, that fails, actually. In fact, that is definitely not a 6 in this puzzle. That's really interesting. No jokes about me at parties. I'm well aware that I'm an extremely boring man. But I am excited by my own discovery, which is that I don't think this can be a 6. Because if this is a 6, I have to decide where the 6 cell segment it's a part of goes. Now, if it starts from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you can see I've isolated that and those 2, and I've got 4 cells. I've got 10 cell region. That's clearly wrong. And if the 6 just goes that way, well, so it's not part of the blue region. I've only got 4 cells in blue that I could possibly build into a region. So that is not a 6. The earliest the 6 can go is here. And if that was a 6, well, the 6 has to be somewhere. But if that's the 6, we know it can't go back to there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those 2, that's 8 cells of a region. So the top right cell of the grid, no, I wouldn't know actually. That cell wouldn't be able to be in the 6 region because it would shut in the blue region. Because the point here is that, well, okay, here is the point. Here is the point. Yes, I don't know whether that's a 6, but I do know that the 6 is in one of those 2. And crucially, I know that whichever one of these is the 6, it's not in the same region as blue. Because if it was in the same region as blue, the line segment it's a part of would go up here, and we've proved that's impossible. So, because whether the 6 is here or here, this is definitely on the 6's line segment, this cell, what colour? Let's make it orange. This is new, as different from blue. And the segment that this is part of is going to go there, and now how does blue get out of the top of the grid. It's got to come through this passageway. There is no other way to get a 9-cell region built. And we know blue is different from green because it's already got 2 cells of segment on it, and that's going to break that. So this would be a 1-2 pair. Sorry, Maverick's flying over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know that the orange segment goes at least to this cell, and that's only if the 6 is here. If the 6 is there, it's got to go to that cell as well. So those are orange. Those are all orange. I've got 7 cells of orange built. That's got to be blue, and it's not allowed to be. It's not allowed to be green. This is beautiful. So that's green, and it can't take another segment. Oh, so can it go there? I don't know, but it definitely can't go into either of those squares. So green has to go down there. Blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, blue could just take all of those cells. So I've got to be really careful now. All of that is forced. But oh, of course. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, IcyFruit, you are one huge... I mean, this is genius setting. It is genius setting. Right, you can't have a second segment of line in blue. It can't hit this cell. Or, you know, you're going to put a 1 in there and then another 1 here. That's not going to work. So blue has to stop there. And therefore, all of these are blue. That's got to be how it works. So now, well, now we know that's not the 6 because it can only be part of a line segment of line 3. That is a 6. And this, oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got to take that cell, which is a bit weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it works if you connect it with that. So that's another region. Another region done. And this segment, those digits are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These digits are 7, 8, and 9. That's not 8. That's not 2. These squares are 1, 2, and 3. So, so look at this segment here. That's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on it. This has got 1, 2, and 3 on it. So there are definitely 2 1s within those 2 regions I've just highlighted in the grid within these cells. There are 2 1s. There are only 2 1s in the first 2 rows of a puzzle. This is a Sudoku puzzle. It does not have 3 of any digit in only 2 rows. So this is not a 1. Now, does that tell us the order? Yes. Yes, because now purple cannot start here. Because the 1 would be too early. So the start of the line is here. So this is indexing a 3. This is indexing a 1. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 is what that is. It is not 9. This is indexing a 3 into... Yes, it's the same. This can't be 9 because it would be indexing a 3 to this position. So that's a 7 or an 8. That's a 9. And this is a 1-3 pair. And this puzzle is utter genius. It is utter genius. Green can't touch another line segment. So it can't go there or there. I don't know about that one. But green can go here. Green has to go into those squares. It has to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells of green. That is a 1. Because there's no... that is the only time that green will hit a line. So that's a 1. These are not 1s. Don't have a... Oh, I almost had a heart failure there. I was thinking, I know I've put a 1 over here somewhere. I suddenly thought, is it in the same row as this one? But it's not. This is a 1, 2, 3 triple, so this square is 4 or 5. Oh yeah, let's look at this segment. Oh, bobbins. Yeah, what we need to do is get rid of 1 from this cell. Because at the moment, if that's the start of the line, it would be indexing a 1 here. If that's the end of the line, it's indexing itself. It is the 6th position on the line. I don't know how to do that. Okay. In this row, 4 and 5 are definitely over here. So these squares are not 4 or 5, and that is a 1, 2, 3 triple in the top row. And this digit can't be 7, 8 or 9, so that is 4, 5 or 6. And we know it's indexing the 2, which, oh, I'm going to be able to get this, aren't I? Or at least approximately get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 5 or 6, actually. So 4 in the top row is in one of those 3. There's going to be all sorts of all sorts of irregular Sudoku to do here. Yeah. In fact, I don't want to get this wrong. By irregular Sudoku, isn't that cell green? I might be wrong about that. No, I am wrong. I am wrong. Bobbins. But, oh, okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know what colour this cell is. But, by the law of leftovers, I do know that those 3 digits there are the same digits as those 3 digits. Now, if you've never heard of the law of leftovers, this is like one of these set things. It never originally was described in terms of set, but for me, personally, I find it much easier to think about in terms of set. So that's how I'm just going to explain it quickly. Right, what I'm going to say is, look at the first 4 rows of this puzzle. Now, obviously, 4 complete rows of a Sudoku contain what? They contain 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9, don't they? Okay, so we know that those cells there, I'll just make them black. Oh, it's going to be horrible. Let's just try and remember. Those are 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9. Now look at the yellow, purple, blue and orange regions of this puzzle. They are undoubtedly also 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9, aren't they? So there must be exact equivalence between these digits here and those 3 digits there. And this might be easier to see if I do just resort to a little colouring to show you. Actually, I could show you and then restore the colouring. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just Control A. I'm going to remove my colouring. I'm going to bring it back. I just want to show you this because I think some people will find it easier to think about this way. So the orange cells are 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9. If I highlight the 4 regions that we had at the top, those cells are in the 4 regions we had at the top. So they're 4 digits, 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9, aren't they? So we know that the blue and the orange sets are the same. They have the same thing in them. So if I remove that cell from blue and orange, what do we know about what remains in blue and orange? They're still the same, aren't they? So we can do that for all of the cells that have two colours in, and remove all of these cells, and what we get left with is that these, the remaining orange, are the same as the remaining blue. So, and I'm going to use that now, so I'm going to just go back to when I had the beautiful colouring. So these cells we've just proved are the same as those cells. So the 1 and the 2 must be those two cells, mustn't they? They must be. And this digit is that digit, which is not 9. So these two digits are the same. And this is a 1-2 pair, so these are not 1s and 2s. Now, is that going to tell us the line? Hang on, let's think. So, if the line, see, it could start from here. That would have to be a 2 indexing a 3. 1, 2, 3. These would be 4 and 5 indexing either them, each other, or themselves. Okay, what about the other way? If that was the start of the line, then this would be indexing a 4 into position into this cell. No, that's wrong. Hang on, if that's the start of the line, the 4 would be into this cell or this cell. Oh no, okay. So either this is indexing a 3 into this cell or a 4 into this cell, either of which seems to be possible. And if that is the start of the line, that is a 1. So that is a 2. That is a 4. And this is 3 and 5. Oh no, sorry. Okay. That's weird, isn't it? It just doesn't seem to help, I don't think. Okay, so that's not how to progress. What could we do? I think this 3-cell segment can be in all, I mean, every digit has got all its options, so I can't think that's going to be restricted. So how do I do this? I know this is, maybe I should mark the cells that are the starts of lines. That's probably not a bad idea, because that's where I went wrong with that toolcat puzzle recently. I didn't continue that logic, and that really held me back at the end. So this 1, 2, 3, no, 1, 2, 3, that cell is indexing the 4. So the 4 is either in its own cell or it's in one of those. So that is 4, 5, or 6. I think. Makes sense to me. This is indexing the 5. Black 5 could go there, couldn't it? Yeah. Or there. Wow, okay. So that, okay, I think I'm getting a bit zugzwanged here. How long have I had? I haven't had an hour yet. That's great. I don't mind. I don't mind IcyFruit making me look and feel stupid. That happens every time. What I feel awful about is when I get totally and utterly stuck. But hang on. What about that cell then? That cell, I mean, it might be part of this one's region, but it's definitely not part of green. So it's a new thing, isn't it? Let's make it red. Now, all I'm thinking here is that I can't sort of willy-nilly go off there. So I can't build a region that looks like this, because it'll have 2 line segments in it. So this has to go there. It has to, because if it didn't, red would bump into another part of the line, creating 2 segments on the same line in the same region, both of which would have to have a 1. So it's got to go there, I think it probably has to go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it has to go there, definitely. It might have to go there as well, but I'm not sure about that. 1, 2, 3. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It doesn't. I don't think it does anyway. It could just avoid it. No. Alright, I'm going to change tack then. I'm going to use Sudoku to help me. Because if I do draw that region in, this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. That's impossible. Because that would be a 3 and that would be a 3 because of this 1, 2 pair. I can't put 2 3s on this line. So this must be at least this long. It must have the opportunity to get to be of length 4. And now that cell must obviously be part of red, otherwise red can't join up, because there'd be a 9 cell region here that red would have to loop round, and that's just too nonsensical for words. And I don't know whether that's red. Maybe I make that red and green just to try and really annoy my own colour blindness. Therefore that's... Oh, why's that gone? Oh, it's gone green because I labelled that. Right. And red, of course, could go here. Let's just think about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it goes there, it has to connect. Let's try that, that. It's not, oh, it's not, hang on. It's not going to be 9 in this column, is it? 9 could go here. 9 can't go in purple. It's already been a 9 in purple. So 9 is in one of those cells. Definitely. 9 can't go there. Because if that's a 9, it has to be part of a 9 cell segment on the line that must incorporate a region. And you can see this cell gets isolated. So that's definitely not 9. Now what about this one? This is going to be the interesting one. Because I think I might be able to prove this is a 9. If this is a 9, then we can see it can't go here, because that's going to isolate this cell in this region, and that's impossible. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh, no way. Oh, no way. I was about to say that doesn't work. And then I realised it might work. And then I realised another reason it might not work, and that didn't work either. Because what I'd seen was if that was a region, which it could be, I mean, it does involve the whole line. I was about to say, but that's going to leave behind it a region that's not 9 cells, but it is 9 cells. That's probably correct. I mean, it's so ludicrous, it's probably correct. And that's a massive problem, because the 9 doesn't have to go here. The 9 could go there or there as well, but just create the same segment. So I don't know. Okay, maybe 8 then. Does... Ooh. Can that be 8? No. I'm not sure actually. 1, 2... No, it can't. If that's 8, the segment that's built would at least go to there, and I've got 2 cells that would have to be 9 in that region. That doesn't work. So that's not 8. So 8 is down there as well. That's not 8 in the bottom row. I've actually used a given digit for once. So 8 is either there. It gets much more complicated. Oh, maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. I do have to be a bit careful to leave behind enough space. As I was just thinking, could you start the 8 cell segment here or something? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're not going to leave behind enough space for a proper region. So hang on, how do we think about this? Let's just try and be logical. So it is indisputably true that this 3-cell segment here has either 8 or 9 on it, or both. Therefore, the segment that will be formed by the 8 or the 9 is at least 8 cells long along the line. Now, how far backwards, when I say backwards, how many of those cells could it possibly have on it? Obviously, if it's 9, it can have none of these cells because it's going to isolate that one. But if it's 8, it definitely can't go back as far as this, because that's going to isolate those two. If it got that one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that doesn't work, because that's a 9-cell region. But let me just show you. I've isolated these 6 cells. There's no way. Oh, hang on. Can they all be red? I hadn't thought of that. Ah, that might work then. 5. No, they can't. They can't all be red. So there would be another region up there, and that couldn't possibly be 9 cells. Some of these could be red, that is true. But red is at least 5, so it can only take 4 of these 6 cells. Right, so that's fine. Okay, so the 8 or the 9 down here doesn't go back as far as this. Now if it goes to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That leaves behind a horrible number, so it doesn't go back to here. If it goes to there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, it leaves behind just a rubbish number. So the 8 or the 9 down here goes forwards. Ah, I've just had another horrible thought though. That cell might not even have to be party to this. But okay, but it's true. Everything I've said is true. The 8 or the 9 down here, which might be very low, goes forwards, which means that cell, all of these cells are part of that region. Definitely. Because we know even if we know the 8 or the 9 can't go backwards to here. So if that's the 8, it's actually going further than this, much further. If that's the minimum is if that's the 8 and we only go 8. So we have to go all the way down there, which gives us another opportunity to do this. Now what I think is we're going to have to do here is to somehow work out how there's, because there's now definitely another region in this part of the grid, and that's going to consume 9 of the cells. And there are 11 cells available. And we worked out that the 8 segment, wherever it starts, never comes back to here. So this is definitely part of some new segment. So we're going to have to give that a colour. Let's give it the colour of indigo. And I'm not sure whether indigo can go to here. I mean, we know that can't be the 8. So if the 8 was here and didn't go there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it would still go to here. And obviously if the segment started there and was 9, it would be longer still. So how is that not in black? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and then it takes that one, does it? Although that doesn't leave enough room for indigo to be big enough, so that doesn't work. Okay, but it's the same point, isn't it? If I start to consume any of these other cells, indigo can't be big enough to be 9. Yeah, so we do come down to here. Oh, actually, could we take that one instead? Sorry, I think I'm not thinking clearly about this part of the grid. I'm very conscious of it. I know you're probably getting cross with me, but I'm just trying to understand. If 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, could that be the region? That would work. That's an 8-cell region of black on the line. And this would have to be the 9. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, sorry. How do we get a grip on this then? Okay, we know that red here can consume some of these cells, but it can never consume these 2 cells, because that's going to create a second line segment in red. So the only colour that can touch these squares, given that black can't, or it would be a second region within black, is indigo. So all of those are indigo. And indigo's line length is 4, 5, or 6. Now, what does that mean, I hear you say? I don't know yet. 5 or 6. So it would be 6 if these were both indigo. And then this would be a 9. It would be the first black cell. So the black region would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That doesn't work, actually. That's interesting. And the reason that doesn't work, let me just show you. So I do that. This isn't connected to the region. So it's not possible for black to start in this cell, because that can't be an 8. It would have to be a 9. 8 would have to be here, but the 9 region wouldn't work. So that is black. Now that's getting a bit more interesting, actually, because now the maximum size of indigo's line segment is 5. So these squares are definitely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if that's indigo, it's another 5. So, okay, right. So where are those 3 digits, those 3 yellow digits in indigo? Those are specifically the digits 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now, they can't be here because they're in the same column. They can't be there because if that is indigo, it is a 6. It can't be a 6, 7, 8, 9. That line segment is 5 long, so this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So those 3 digits must be in those 3 squares. And that is going to limit red. These digits are 6, 7, 8, and 9. And therefore, so I've got 8 cells of indigo now. I'm sure this is obvious to everybody. Oh, goodness me. Ooh, can we do something clever with this? I mean, no, yeah, I think we can. how could that possibly be black? Yeah, that's a good question. That is the question. It can't be. Now, the reason is complicated though. If this is a black cell, we know that the black region here contains an 8 or a 9 or both. So the only way this can be black is if 8 is on the line but 9 isn't. And that means this is a 9. But now where do you put that 9 in indigo? We know those squares are the same as these 3 squares. So the 9 would have to go there on the line. And that is not a length 9 segment. So that is not black. That is indigo. And that is the shape of indigo. And that is black. And now, I don't even know if I know more than I did before about whether these 2 squares are that. But now, I've got that. Okay, but one thing I do know then is that these don't have 5 on them. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. So 5 in indigo is in one of those 2 squares. So that is not a 5. Yes, okay. So I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. And these squares are massive. That digit is in one of those 2 positions. Now, what on earth does that mean? How many regions have I built? Now, I've built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's one more region to come, which presumably means that cell is in the sort of the 9th region. Let's just make... Could that join to red? No. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it can't. So this is the 9th region living down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, bobbins, look at that. I think that's going to be how that works. It's just going to fold in like that. I was thinking if I could get that to be lime green, I could make all of those lime green. Goodness. I'm always struck when I do these puzzles about how on earth anyone has gone about constructing this. It's madness again, isn't it? So, sorry as well. Sorry if this is obvious to everybody. I would love it if it was obvious to me. Is it going to be some sort of weird irregular Sudoku type thinking? It could be, couldn't it? It really could be. Yeah, maybe that is how I have to think about it. Sorry, I know I've stopped talking. I'm just trying to think about this. I'm failing. I think there is something going on with the number of low digits in the first sort of 3 columns. Do we? Oh no, I'm not sure though. I'm not sure now. 4. So what? One or more of these lines must be in some way restricted in a way I don't appreciate. I'd quite like to know if 9 was down here. because then at least I could finish my black region. It would have to go there, but then that could very easily be red, couldn't it? So if red ended here, in the sense this was the last cell that red had on a line, then these would be 1, 2, 3 and 4. And they couldn't be 1 or 2, and they couldn't be 1 or 2. So these would be 1 or 2. Now, is there a reason that doesn't work? Not, well, I mean, there may be. But I don't see what it is. I don't really know where to look, if I'm honest. I'm not seeing anything at all. 3 is in one of those squares. Let's make a note of that. Is that affecting anything? 3 is in one of these squares. If that was a 3, that would be a 3. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. This is bizarre, isn't it? It's really... Oh no, I was about to ask a silly question. Is it something to do with high digits then in that row? We do know, don't we? Okay, yeah, we've got a lot of digits in this one. So we know that these are from 2, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to pencil mark it. Apologies for being so overzealous. I was just wondering if there's something I can do Sudoku-wise in this row. I don't think there is, actually. I'm not seeing it. Wow, okay. Golly gosh, so... I just don't know where to look. I don't, I've just completely lost it. Where? Ooh, oh brother, where art thou? What can I do here? Oh, I've got a 1 and a 2 looking at that. Okay. Is that doing anything? This is 3 or 4. If it's 3, but it depends where the line starts from. If that's the start of the line, and that's 3 or 4, that would be putting 4 into one of those squares. But if that's the start of the line, it's putting 1 into one of those squares. It's barbaric, the fact that we don't, we don't know which way round these lines go. It really is very, very tricky. Is there some game we could play? I'm wondering if between column 4 and 5 there's some sort of law of leftovers trick. It's a bit awkward not knowing what this is, isn't it? Yeah, there's sort of a region here, most of a region here, barring one cell, most of a region here, barring these 3 cells. So whatever's sticking out of black, and these 3 cells are the same as those 4 cells. But I don't know what the one is that sticks out of black. I suppose I know it's not a 1 or a 2. So there must be a 1 or a 2 down here in black, I think. It's the upshot of that in column 4. Is that definitely true? Is it okay? Is it something to do with low digits in the first 4 columns then? I know I've got 1s, 2s. Let's use 1s, 2s, and 3s maybe. So I've got 3 of them there. I've got 3 of them there. That's 6. I've got 3 of them there. That's 9. I can only have 12. Yeah, I mean, all right, just doing, let's change tack and just do 1s and 2s because it's easier with what we've got in green. So there's definitely a 1 and a 2 in there. There's definitely a 1 and a 2 in there. That's 4, 6. So I need 2 1s and 2s. Yeah, in black, the 1s and the 2s are definitely in these cells because they can't be in the 9th cell, which is here. So there are no 1s and 2s in red or in this string, which means either this is a 1-2 pair or it's definitely got 1 of 1 and 2 in it. But where is that on the line? It will be near the beginning of the line, so if it was a 2 it could be indexing itself. Alright, maybe that can't be a 1-2 pair, because that would make that a 3, but I don't know. I don't know how this line works. I know 4 and... oh, I know, oh, okay, here's the small point. I now know 5 is in one of 2 places. Is that helpful? 4 is in one of 3 places. So 5 here, see, it just depends. That could be indexing a 4 into this position or a 2 into that position, both of which are fine. A 5 here is putting a 2 into that position, or oh, it couldn't be a 4 into that position. So if that was a 5, it would be very interesting. Okay, that's all very well, but how does it help me? Because I fear the answer to that is going to be it doesn't at all. Okay, and it might be that what I'm meant to do now is more thinking in the white squares. Somehow or other, I can learn more about how everything down here grows. That's probably true, isn't it? It really is. It's probably true. Okay, so this square here is either red or lime green. It can't be black. Black's only got 1 more cell. It definitely can't be green. Well, it could be green actually, but then red wouldn't be big enough. So it's not dark. It's not dark green. So this cell is either lime green or red. Now, if it's red, let's look at that, because if it's red, obviously we can't have 2 segments within red. So this would also be red. This would also be red because black can't get to that segment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. possibly 9 here. Oh, one of these would have to be red, actually, because only one of them can be black. So red would be completed by one of these squares. This would be green. And but the crucial thing, well, but these cells would therefore be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7 if it extended down to here. If it took that one, these would be 7, 8, 9. The weird thing about that is, it doesn't look impossible, does it? At least not to me. It doesn't look impossible to me. Is there some way we can deduce something from that? I don't think so. It was quite an interesting excursion, but I don't think it did what we needed it to do. Okay. I don't know. I've got this weird pencil mark as well going on down here. I think I'm going to get rid of the 8 and the 9 because I know that there's an 8 or a 9 down here. I don't know. That's a sort of cross-box pencil mark which I could fall foul of. And we don't want that. Oh, here's a small point. 1 and 2 in column 1 are now on the indigo, so that is not 1 or 2. That could be interesting. That's about the best, you know, anything you can get on these little funny lines is quite helpful. So, it's nearly good, but not quite good enough, I don't think. If this is the start of the line, it's saying we're going to write a 1 into one of these two positions, which seems fine. Oh no. Oh, well, we would have to be careful there, actually, because I can't have too many 1s, 2s and 3s in this row. So this would have to be 4, actually, I think, if this is the start line. Because if this was 3, I'd be saying write 1 here, and that's going to break those two squares. Right, so if that's 4, I'd be putting a 1 here. This would be a 1. This would be a 5. That would be a 3. Indexing itself. Oh, that looks like it works, of all things. That's absolutely infuriating. That is infuriating. Sorry. Okay. Okay, let's try it the other way around then. So if this was indexing, if this was at the end of the line, it's indexing a 5, and it would have to index a 5. Oh, so is this always 5? Maybe that's a point. Yeah, I might be right. Okay, so let's try that. What I'm claiming is whichever way round the yellow line goes, I think the 5 might have to be exactly here. Because if the line starts in this position, this can't be 3, because that would be 3, 1. So this is 4 indexing 1 here, and that's a 5. If it goes the other way round, this could be a 4 indexing a 5 here, but if this is a 3, it would index the 5 there, which is impossible. So 5 is always here. That's really complicated, but something. So that's not 5. So 5 on the black line. I don't know where it goes. I know it's not down there. This one lost its ability to be 5 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the 6. That's indexing where the 6 goes. So that means this can't be 6, doesn't it? Because 5 there would index a 6 into this position. So that's lost its ability to have that. Okay. Okay. That's great. It's great news. It's great news, folks. Probably. But how do we use this? Haven't got a clue. Gosh, I mean, at the end of the... Well, I'm not saying it's the end. It's merely the beginning. We're an hour and a half in. It's merely the beginning of the puzzle. And I'm completely and utterly being devastated by it. Okay, I do know there's an 8 or a 9, or both on this segment. I'd love to know if it's both, because that would be black. If that's lime green, I don't think well, maybe. We've got to be a bit careful. Lime green, if it, to the extent it does pick up any of these cells, would have a very low number on its line segment, wouldn't it? That's certainly true. But do we... Is there some reason I care about that? I don't think so. I have a feeling there might be some generically weird point at this stage of the puzzle. You know, that says something like... You know, how many 1s and 2s have you got to put in rows 7, 8, 9, or something strange like that could be going on, but I don't know where. So, okay, we have got this 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we've had that for ages. This 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. Is there some reason this can't be? That's 3. It's either indexing a 1 here. Would that be interesting? So if that's 3, that's 4. That's 1, that's 2. Four would be indexing itself. Golly, I don't know. This is really hard. Okay. Okay. So we've got to try something else. If I'm so sorry. I know this is inept, but okay. I'm just unsure I can't feel where the pressure is in the puzzle, and that's always disconcerting. Okay, let's look at this line again. We know this line doesn't bump into any more line segments because it's had its one line segment. We've got at least 6 of its cells. So Can we say anything more about it than that? I know these cells definitely include 1 and 2 in column 1. Yeah, see, it could be some sort of micro deduction, like, you know, if you look at that cell hard enough, you can prove it can't be a 5 or something. Although I don't think that's true in that instance, but it could be something like that, couldn't it? Yeah, I don't know. And I've got an 8. Oh, I suppose that's not an 8. I mean, I don't think that's going to do anything, but it's true. I know those 3 digits are the same as these 3. I know those 2 digits are the same, actually. Might as well record that while I see it. And 1, 2... Is it something to do with... Oh, I just don't know. I'm so sorry. I feel completely and utterly useless here. I really do. Or is it something to do with number of high digits in that section of the grid? I don't know, is the short answer. I know that... Oh, okay, is that a thought? Okay. Alright, I am going to have to resort, I think, to law of leftovers stuff. Now, what I said was, and I think it's true, again, this is going to be difficult to show you. Okay, I can do this though. I can do it. I'm going to just Control A the grid. I'm going to come back to this position. Oh, that didn't work. I thought Control A was going to highlight everything. Oh, why doesn't that work? I thought I'd be able to highlight the whole grid. And turn it all into one colour. That's what I wanted to do. That's going to be more complicated. Okay, but oh, I don't know now. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought this would be fine. Maybe. Oh, it's worked now. I don't understand that, but I'm going to delete all the colour. And I'm going to highlight 4 columns of the grid in one colour, like that. And I'm going to highlight 4 boxes of the grid, because they must contain the same overall digits, mustn't they? So I'm going to highlight this one, and I'm going to highlight this one. Now the problem with this one is there's an extra cell in one of these squares. Let's just make it that one. It doesn't matter which one it is, because the principle is what I'm going to try and establish. And I'm going to highlight this one. Okay, so we know that there is exact equivalence in total between the blue and the orange sets. And you can see I've got lots of cells here that have 2 colours. So if I remove these cells from both sets, the difference between them, which is 0 overall, doesn't change. So I'm going to do that like that. And the point of principle that I want to establish is that I've got these quite high digits here and some digit that's left over from the original black digit here that have to go into these cells. And what I'm thinking there is that obviously 7 or 8 is mapping out to one of these, but I've got at least a 5 or a 6 on this line now, don't I? Because I could hide the other 7 or 8 here, but that still means the 5 or the 6 is here, and that's going to extend this segment in my original colouring. So let's go back to the original here. We now know, because there's at least a 5 or a 6 here, this is definitely red. And I mean, I'm not saying that's a brilliant deduction. I'm very aware it's not. But it's something. I mean, if I knew that was 6, it would really be something. Because then I could extend it again. And that would basically finish red all but. So now I suppose we know that this digit is not capable of being 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, is it? That's got to be a 6, 7 or an 8. Because we know that even if that's a 5 and it's on the line, we're still 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are going to be hypothecated to those cells in red. So this has to be 6, 7, 8 or 9, and it's not 9. So, I mean, it's a tiny deduction, but it is a step forward, and I haven't managed to make a step forward for ages. I mean, is it possible that there is a... It's not possible there's an 8 on there, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's actually not. It really isn't possible. So 8 is either there or there in that sequence, because there is an 8 in here. Now it's nearly impossible for there to be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, that might well be disprovable, actually. Let me think about that. I mean, we need to look at this. This is definitely a point. So if 7 was on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Black would finish here. Red would finish here. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The only way red can exist is like that. These two digits have to be 8 and 9. This would have to be green. Now, that doesn't work. Oh, that's difficult though, because this has now got an 8 cell region, and that would be its 9th cell, so it would be a 9, and that would be the 9 in red. Whoa. Okay, well that's incredibly difficult to see, but it's exciting. No jokes. So we can't put 7 on it, so we now know that these two squares are a 7-8 pair. I don't know the order, but that's true. Okay. Does that help us? Maybe not enough. So this square is either lime green or black. We've worked out now it cannot be red. So that square is lime green or black. If it's black, we know there's a 9 on... Well, obviously we know there's a 9 on the line in black. We also know, don't forget, that that digit is going in there. Which could be interesting. If it's lime green, then lime green hugs the bottom of the grid. And this would be a 1-2 pair, wouldn't it? In lime green. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, okay, this digit can't be a lime green, because lime green would do that. The only 2 cells on its line segment are 1 and 2, and that can't be either. So that is black. Oh, there we go. Right. So now, I still don't know what that is. But I still view that as a breakthrough. Okay, good. Good. Don't know what it means, but it's good. Now, how do we take this forward then? So if this was lime green, it would now be a 1. That would do some things for us. But it could be red. If it's red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, those are both red. This would be a 7, 8, 9 in red. And that would be green. And that would also do a lot of things for us. So if this is lime green, all of these are lime green. And if this is red, these are red and red finishes. So these are always lime green. That's definitely true. Because green, dark green can't get down here. Well, it could get down here, but not with enough latitude to also take this cell as well, which it would need to. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's lime green by count. Otherwise, red would block it off, and it couldn't get 9 cells. So we're very slowly building up a picture of what's going on. Very slowly indeed. Oh, come on, Simon. There must be something else we can do here, isn't there? He says, desperately trying to work out what that thing is. I just am not looking at this the right way. I accept that wholeheartedly, and I wish I could look at it the right way. Believe me, it's not going to be something. Oh, I do know those 2 digits are the same, don't I? Like if I could get something that looks at that given digit, maybe that would be helpful. So within the panoply of indigo, we're looking at one of those squares for this digit. It'd be nice also if I knew which of these was the A digit, wouldn't it? But I don't know how I'm going to establish that. Okay. And does it help at all to know that this digit is not 1 or 2? We know that this digit is going in here, don't we, from our law of leftovers point. So this digit is not 1 or 2, and it's not 7, 8 or 9. So it is 3, 4, 5, 6, or that's what it is. It's 3, 4, 5 or 6. And it's at one end of this line. So if it was the start, it would be putting a 1 into a whole variety of places. I don't believe this. This is so complicated. Okay, but then does that matter? Is there some? I feel like there's something going on with 1s and 2s again. Yeah. I mean, in the first 4 columns, there's a 1 and a 2 in yellow, a 1 and a 2 in purple, a 1 and a 2 in black, and a 1 and a 2 in indigo. And we know that, therefore, red's 1 and 2 is not in any of those cells. It's definitely not here either. So red's 1 and 2 it can't be those 2 squares. because that's going to break this square. So this is a 1 or a 2 within a panoply of red. Okay, so that's a 1, 2, 3 triple in column 7, so that's not a 3 anymore. So that's a 1 or a 2. That's a 1, 2 pair in column 8. I mean, these are tiny little micro deductions, aren't they? But they may at some point bear some fruit. So, does that help with this line? No, I just don't think it does, because I don't know which way round it starts again. Oh, please. Please do. I now know those two digits are the same. I suppose I know they're different from B. So let's make these C. Okay, so that's C. So the C digit is in one of those two squares. The C digit is in one of these two squares. That seems to be true. I mean, I might as well notate it. The C digit is in one of those two squares. Where is the C digit in black? Do we know? I don't think we do. Where is the C digit in lime green? The answer is it's almost certainly in this column, actually. I think it has to be. Because even if green gets to this column, it's not the C digit. So the C digit in lime green is in one of those cells, not that one, and not that one. So C in the final column is in one of these 4 cells. And that's going to be as useful as a chocolate teapot. Okay. So, alright, so we still have to think harder again. If I mean, what does letting a 3 out of this cell prevent now? I don't know that it does very much at all. Oh, I suppose, okay, hang on, hang on, that's big. Sorry, I've got something here. That's a 1, 2, 3 triple, that's not a 3. Gosh, you find yourself not looking for the easy things, so that's a 3 apparently. Now, does that tell me the direction of this line? I'm really hoping it does. That 3... Yes, it does. I think it does. Okay, if the line started from here, this would be saying write 4 into the 3rd position where it can't go. So the line starts here, and that makes this a 1, and that's the C digit. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's massive, is it? Yes. Yes, Simon, it is. That is. So that's so exciting. I cannot tell you how excited I am by that, and don't mock me. I don't need more mocking. Okay, now we've just worked out that this. I'm going to remember to do this. I'm going to put that there. Can I? Okay, so my C digit. Remember. Do I get rid? I might get rid of C now, because it's basically become the digit 1, hasn't it? Okay. We might be able to do something along this line somehow with that, you know. But let's go back to this. We know it starts here. So this 2 is in the 4th position, putting a 4 here. Now, is that 5 correct then? That's it. That's indexing itself, so that's fine. Right, 5 is not now here by the looks of things. This 4 is not here. There's a 5-6 pair in purple now, so that's a 2-4 pair. That's got to do something, hasn't it? Does that tell us how this line works? If that's what just changed, we got rid of 4 from here. Oh, so that can't index itself. That's that's throwing the 4 into one of those positions. Bobby. Oh, I see. Yeah, that just works, doesn't it? Right, that square is 6, 7, 8, or 9. By that fair-weathered friend Sudoku. Now, if and we don't know because I don't know how long the red line is. Goodness me. Okay. Okay. So we're going to have to think harder again. That being a 1, does that tell? No, because they could index each other, and if this was the start of the line, that would be a 3, and that would be a 2. Ah, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in column 2, and a 5, so those digits are all massive. 6, 7, 8, 9. Now that was presumably going to tell us how this line works. If that's the start of the line, it's not indexing a 1 into the... Oh no, because, hang on, that's not true at all. Well, it is indexing a 1, but it's indexing a 1 into this cell or this cell. No. What on earth? Okay, there is a 1 for sure in one of those cells. Let's put that in. And there is a 1 in one of these, and there is a 1 in one of those. And somewhere down here, yeah, there's a 1 in one of those 3. Now, can we remove any of these possibilities? I don't know that I can, you know. I'm not sure I can. Can I see which way round this? If that was a 1, that would be a 1, that would be a 1. No, okay, I can't. I don't think I can do that. Okay, so we have to think again. Let's try. I have to say, I know I'm probably not covering myself in glory here, but I love this puzzle. It is so interesting, and you get these tiny little epiphanies every now and again when I make a like a breakthrough. It's like, yes. Okay, where do we think though next? I've almost got like a 1, 2, 3, 4 triple in this column. No, actually 4 is a little bit less nice there, isn't it? What would that mean? That would be a 4, 2, 1. I don't know. Wow, it's really complicated. If this is a 1, 2 pair, that's a 3, that's a 2. 2, this is a 3, 4 pair. Can that be a 3-4 pair on this line? Does that work somehow? Oh yeah, no, it can. It can. If that 4 is indexing the 1. Oh no, hang on. That would be... Oh no, hang on. I'm losing my marbles now. It's so difficult to see this because you have to do the line from both directions. Okay, if this is a 3-4 pair, what is this doing? That's throwing a 2 into position 3 or position 4. So that would be a 2. If this is the start of the line. So that would be a 2, and that would be a 1 at the start of the line. And this would be a 4 indexing a 5 into here. Is that what would be happening? Oh, so that, well, okay, if it works that way round, that's one direction of the line it worked in, so I'm not going to flog that dead horse. I definitely know there is a 1 or a 2 in here. I mustn't forget that. Oh, does that help me know which direction this line goes in? But if one of those was indexing 7, which it could well be, that's absolutely fine. So the fact I know there is a low digit here, it doesn't actually help me at all to know which direction this line goes in. It can go in either direction. That's extraordinary, isn't it? If lime green bubbles up under there, do we care? These did. Oh, maybe I can now. Maybe I now know somehow what these are. I suppose. Okay, we can pencil mark them, can't we? Because even if we go down here for red, these digits are all still quite low. They're 2, 3, 4, 5, or maximum 6. And that's not 2, and that's not 2. And this isn't 2, because for that to be 2, there would have to be a 2 by the law of leftovers in one of those, which we worked out wasn't the case. So the 2 on the red line, when there must be a 2, is either exactly there, or if it does go down to there, it's there. So it's in one of those two cells. And that's absolutely useless, is it? Yeah, if that's the start of the line, it's indexing a 1, that's fine. If it's the end of the line, that would be a 6. That would be a 5. This would be a 5-6 pair, and that would be a 5 or a 6. This is extraordinarily complicated and still apparently works. I mean, if that's red, I get a 7, 8, 9 triple. I'm not sure whether I like that idea or not. It seems possible, doesn't it? I think it does seem possible. If that's a 4, can we break a world that way? I know the 4's in one of those. If that's a 4, what are we saying on this line? It could be indexing itself, or it's throwing a 2 there. So it would be indexing itself. If that's a 4, it's indexing itself. This is a 3 indexing a 1. Hang on. I might be wrong about this. I think I ended up with 2 3s in column 2 when I did that in my head. That might be really important. Let me think that through again. Now, what I saw was, if this is 4, this is 4, and that is a 3. Okay, so I want to bear that in mind. That would be... So if this is 4, this is 3. But if this is 4, we can see this is 3. And I think, that if this is 4, the line starts here. So this 3 is sending a 1 into this position. And that makes this a 3. And that's 2 3s. That is wrong. Good grief. So that's not 4. So this is 4. So, right, so that's 4. Boom. Another little tiny win for the good guys. This is now not 4. Oh, well, this 4 is doing things. That's 4, that's 2. Oh, come on. Right, but now do I know which way round this line goes? Yes. Yes, because this 4, if that's the start of the line, it's throwing 1 here, which it can't be. So the start of this line is here. And that's 2 or 3 is throwing a... Yes, yes. Okay, if this is a 3 now, it's throwing a 2 here, which it can't do. So that's a 2. And this is a 1 3 pair, and this is a 2, and that's a 3. And now... Now this line, I think, starts there, doesn't it? If it starts here, I should be having a 1 there, which I can't do. So, okay. Right. Oh, these two, we don't know. They could be indexing each other or themselves, depending on which way round it goes. But I got these two, and we know that line. So we're going to get the 5 and the 6 resolved here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. So that's a 6. That's a 5. So these are now not 5. This is now not 6. Please, 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 please don't. Okay, that's not 6 anymore. So, oh, this is great. Yes, now knowing this is a 6, we know there's a 6 in one of those squares, which means this line does have 6 on its segment. It takes it down here. Those turn red. Now, 1, 2, 3. Now I know where red goes. It has to be, oopsie whoopsie. It has to be exactly those cells. And now, this cell is green. And now, so 6 I know is in one of those. That is not 6. So this digit, well, 5 doesn't appear to be in there, so that's not 5. This is 3 or 4 going up here into here. And the rest, so I've got 6 here. So this digit here is 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's extraordinary that I can't limit it more than that. These squares are 7, 8, 9. There's definitely a 9 in one of them, so that's definitely not 9. Okay. Now this is really exciting. He says, "Come on, how do we progress this further?" The 4. If that's the start of this line, it's throwing a 1 there, which it can't be. So this line goes backwards. That's the start of it. Oh. That's the start of it. So this is throwing... Oh, it's throwing a 1 into one of those squares. The 4 is indexing itself. No! So it doesn't help us to know the direction of this line. Naughty puzzle. Naughty puzzle. Okay. Very naughty puzzle. Right, okay, so what can we do next? Oh, we must be nearly able to work out how this works. Here's a small point, actually. If dark green went there, you can't put 1 and 2 into this row, because there's only that cell available. So that cell is lime, which means the cell above it is lime. It means this is lime. Now I've got quite a lot of lime. I've got 7 cells of lime. That must be an 8th. Dark green can't get there. Ah, that must be... No, that's wrong. Sorry. How many? 1, 2... No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. My first instinct was correct. If this square is lime green gets too big, because it has to take that one as well. That is dark. So these are somethings. Three in lime green is in one of those cells by Sudoku. It's going to be something like that, isn't it? There's going to be some weird digit. Or is it where does... No, that's not a good question. I can well imagine there's quite a lot of law of leftovers type nonsenses to be considered at this juncture. Where is 2 in lime green? It's in one of those cells. So, and C was my digit 1. So that's in one of those cells. Two. I don't know. Okay, so if that was 3, that would be a 6-4 pair. That would tell us the order of this line. It would be starting from here. That would be a 5. This would be a 2-3 pair. So that would be a 2 and that would be a 3 indexing itself. That's if this is a 3. Okay. So that 6 is there. I do definitely know that I've got that pencil marked already. And I know this digit, if that was 4, it would have to go here. Oh, where's 4 in black? That's quite an interesting question. It's in one of these 3 squares. That might help us know the order of the line. If it was in one, if the line did start from here, it would be putting a 1, 2, or 3 into this square. So that would be a 1 or a 3. That would be a pair in the column, and that's probably absolutely fine, isn't it? 5, here's a small point, 5 in this column is on the line. So if 5 is in one of those cells, if 5 is in the middle of the line, it must be indexing itself. The 5 is always going to be indexing a 4 or a 6 or itself. So whichever way the line goes, that square is 4, 5 or 6. Because even if that's either a 5 in position 4 or a 5 in position 6, and that's the same. So always that digit's not 4, that's 5 or 6, it's 5 or 6. But still we don't know, because we don't know which direction the line is going. So I can't use the fact that 4 isn't in one of those squares to help me. That's extraordinary. Isn't it? Isn't that I think it's extraordinary. Where's... Oh, that's not 8. whole business. Oh, 9. Is there something around 9? 9 is now in one of 4 places in box. What box? What do we call that? The black box. 9 is in one of 4 places in the black box. Okay. I have at least got some small grip on aspects of this. I don't know where to look now. 6 is in one of those cells. I mean, in fact, those digits are 6, 7, 8 and 9, aren't they? So 5 in row 1 is in one of 3 places. But these aren't line segment cells, so there must be something we can do. I know 1 or 2. Oh, 2 in this column now. That's going to be it. Right, where's 2 in column 4? It is at the bottom. Right. Now, see, 2 could index itself if it's there. But if the line did start over here, that cell, see, that could work. That would be throwing a 2 into position 7 or 8. That would be, I mean, that would give me a 7, 8, 9 triple. But if this is the start of the line, 3, 4, the 1 is in one of those 2, so 1 would have to be there apparently. So that would be a 4 with a 1 here. That would do the 1 and the 3. I don't think, so we don't know. I don't think we know. One or 3 are down here. Is that relevant? Can 1... oh no. Hang on. I think I pencil marked a 1 here when this could have been 6, which it's not allowed to be anymore. So I don't think that can be 1 anymore. Because from this side, the 6th cell is there. So if this is the start, 1 is here or here, which is 6 or 8. But if this is the start, 1 is there. So 1 is down to 2 positions in the black box. But if that was a 1, that would be a 1, which would mean the start of the line was... I can almost break that. I think there's only one way that works. So what I'm saying is if this is 1, this becomes 1 in black, which now forces the direction of the line to start from this direction. Now 3 in this example then is being indexed by this cell. But in this column, this would be indexing a 9 as well into position 4, which would be here. This would be a 6, indexing a 3 here. That's the only way it could work. I mean, the thing is, all of these numbers batting backwards and forwards, it almost looks correct, doesn't it? And this would be a 6 or an 8. This would have to be an 8 indexing a 2 into here. That would put a 2 into there. That would tell us the order of this line. Probably. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I think it would. That couldn't be cat the 3rd cell So that would have to be 1, 2, 3. The fourth cell would be a 2. So this would be a 4. That would be a 4. But that's... Is that correct on the yeah, that's exactly what we would get. I'm pretty sure that's right. I mean, for that to go that far and not break is pretty extraordinary. So that was all predicated on this being a 1. So if that's a 3 on the other hand, how does that change things? This would be 1. Weirdly, I don't know that I would know which direction the line went in then, which is a very strange thing to think about. I don't know. Goodness me. Sorry. Right, here's a different point. This column has got 6, 7, 8 and 9 in it. The 6 of which is definitely there. So that is not a 6. And that means that the rest of this column has got to be 2, 3s, 4s and 5. In fact, not 2s. 3s, 4s or 5s. Oh, okay. And that can't be 3. So, does that do something? Is the next question. So this is 3, 4 or 5 as a result of that little beautiful little experiment. Can I do the thing I was thinking about before? Yes, I was thinking about 1s and 2s in row 6 at one point, wasn't I? This cell here can't be a 1 or a 2 by Sudoku. Where are 1 and 2 in this row? Ooh, boom! Either here or here. Now, let's look at this then. So, we know the direction. So this is plonking a 3. Oh, no. Into positions 1 or 2 where it can go. Okay, but if that was a 2 now, that wouldn't work. Because then, if this is a 2, it's indexing a 1 into this cell, and 3 isn't on the line, so that... Oh, hang on, I don't know what... So this has to be 3. And that's indexing 1 here. So that's 2. That's 2. Now, is that going to do something? Yes. Now this is a 2. Okay. Oh, and that could index that one. Bobbins. Oh, that is bobbins. It's still this line. I don't know which direction it goes in. Okay, but, surely that does something. He says, that's not 3. Oh, hang on. What my 3 pencil mark here was for the lime green 3, wasn't it? Which is now in one of those 2. So that's the final lime green cell. Ooh. So we've got a lot of 3s going on here. We've got a 3 here. We've got to put a 3 in green somewhere, dark green. In fact, 3 in dark green is in one of those 3 cells, definitely. Because it can't be here by Sudoku, and we know that this is the lime green 3. So there's a 3 in one of those. A 3 in one of these. Oh no, I don't think it's going to do it. I mean, okay, so that means that there are 3 3s in these highlighted cells, which does mean this square is not a 3. Which means the 3 in the black region, oh, which is also not here, by the way. So the 3 in the black region is in one of those 3 squares, for what that's worth. Which is probably not a lot, but it's something. So, if it was here, what does that mean? Who knows? If it's here, it might be indexing a 2. It might be in the 8th position, and that which wouldn't work that way round. So if the 3 was there, that would be a 2. That would be a 4, and that would be a 1. Okay. Oh, no. Boom, boom. Yes, right. Here's something we could do. Here is something we could do. Where is 3 in column 6? One of those 2 squares. Seems to be. Where's 3 in column 8? One of those 2 squares. So that is an X-swing on 3s. And that means, so think about it. If the 3s are locked into those 2 cells in each of those 2 columns, we know that those 4 cells I've got highlighted on screen have 2 3s within them. How many 3s are we expecting there to be in row 6? 1 3. How many 3s in row 7? 1 3. So that's the 2 3s for rows 6 and 7. And we're going to be able to delete 3 from this cell, this cell, this cell, and it doesn't do it. You're kidding me. Oh, I was so excited about that. Okay, but maybe we can do something with that. If right, hang on. If the line starts from here, that would have to be a 5, wouldn't it? Oh, that's been available for a while, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the line doesn't start from there. The line starts from here. That's going to be big. So let's go to my line drawing tool. Now, if the line starts from here, there must be a way of doing this now. There must be. If that is a 6, it would index itself. If it's a 3, it's not a 3, because it would be indexing a 6 into one of these squares, which apparently can't be 6 for reasons I've got no idea about. But okay, so that is a 6. This is therefore a 4. Now we do not want to lose... Yeah, oh, hang on, I know what that's doing. I worked out there was a 4 in one of those 3 squares, so that's now a 4. So this is a 5, and this is a 3. Now this line, does it work? 3 is indexing itself, the 4 and 5 index each other, so it is working. That is not 5 anymore, by Sudoku. Now, I really wish this cell couldn't be a 9. I don't... Oh dear. Okay, but okay, that 3 there is giving me a 5 here. Okay, and I needed a 3 in green, so that's now got to be there. And this 5 makes this a 4. Okay, that's delightful. Okay. Right, so this square here is 7, 8 or 9. Golly, this must be really close to finally giving up its secrets, mustn't it? That's, oh look, that's a 3, which is going to be our lime green. So that's how lime green finishes. That's how dark green finishes. That is the region division done after 2.5 hours. Right, there is a 6 in one of these squares in lime green. How can this black region still be ambiguous? It's so ludicrous. I'm sure it's not. You've probably been all shouting at me about that for ages, but I can't see how to do it. Right, in this column, these squares are 1s, 2s and 3s. And that is not a 3. And that is not a 2. Now this must resolve, mustn't it? So if the line does start from this side, that's the 7th position. So one of these would be a 7. Looks fine. This is the 8th position. So one of these would be, so that would be an 8. So this would go, actually it would go 8 here for a 1. And then 7 here. So it'd go 8, 7 into those squares. It's just barbaric. It's so unbelievable that this doesn't resolve at this point. Where's 4 in dark green? There is the answer to that. How many 4s have we got? All of them? No. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 of them, so I can get 9 there. Okay, great. How many 1s have we got? I've got several. Oh no, I really haven't actually. I've got 5. I've got 5. Don't know where the last ones are. 2s. Oh, I've got loads of 2s. Where's 2 in row 8? That's big. It's there, apparently. Okay. So does that remove either of those options we were just thinking about? So that's in the 7th position from this side, so that would make this a 7. But from the other side, it would be plonking a 3 here, which is legitimate, I think. It's quite incredible, this. I don't believe it. I mean, I know you're saying that is why you fail, but it's extraordinary that this is still being recalcitrant. Wow. Okay. So I have to keep going. 6, 7s, 8s and 9s into these squares. And these have definitely got 6s into them. So it's an X-swing of 6s here. So that's, oh, we already knew that couldn't be a 6 actually, because of this 6 pencil mark. Right, so this is 5, 7, 8, 9. I suppose it's not 8. 5, 7, 9. Oh, 6 here, look, that's doing a little bit of damage. So 6 is in one of those 2 squares in column thingy, which means this isn't 6, it means this isn't 6. That isn't 6, so 6 is in one of those 2 squares, and that isn't 6, yes. So that's 6, that's 6. Now that 6 is taking a cell out of here. Didn't that do something with 3s in one direction or another? No, I think I was thinking about that earlier, but that thought probably is past its sell-by date. 7, 8, 9. 5 is in one of those. 1, 5, 7, 9. So these are 5, 7 and 9 into however. Oh, where's 6 in this row? It's in one of those squares, and that takes 6 out of a cell in the black region, which is definitely the region I'm struggling the most with. I'm really close to proving. I don't actually know, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure. Okay, so let's look at row 1, 7, 8, 9. This. It's probably high digits or something. Can we do all the sixes? I've got a 6 X-wing left, have I? So probably can't. Yeah, look at this. I've got weird patterns of 6s left. Yeah, I don't think that is going to resolve then. 5s. I suppose I haven't double-clicked my 5s. Maybe there's something clever we can do with those. Or maybe not. I mean, have I done all the lines? Apart from the obvious one, the obvious omission. The answer seems to be yes. So there's obviously just got to be some way that we can... I know those 2 digits are the same. I haven't thought about that for a long time. So A goes in one of these squares. If A was 8, one of those would be 8. If that's the 9th position, that is putting a 9 here. That is putting a 7 here. And that's not correct. Oh, right. This could be huge. I'm not sure it's right, but I'm going to try it. So what I'm going to claim is, let's try and make this the start of the black line. Now, if it's the start of the black line, this cell is the last digit, and that's indexing the position of 9 into this cell. And that makes this now a 7. Now, if this is a 7, starting from here, it's indexing a 3 into that position, which is wrong. So finally, we are able to say this is the start of the line. That's indexing a 1 now into this position. So that becomes a 3, that's a 1, that's a 3, that's a 3, that's a 1. The 2 and the 3 shuffle amongst themselves, indexing each other, of course. These index each other. But these will index the 7s and the 8s, won't they? So how does that work? So this is a 7. This is a 7 now. And that's an 8. So that's going to do some damage. Perhaps not enough, but it's doing something. And it must be better now, mustn't it? It must be, because now at least I know which direction this is going in. So this is either indexing itself or the 9 into there. Oh, sorry, a 7 into there. So the 7 is in one of those squares. It's not in that square anymore. So this is 6 or 8, possibly indexing itself. Surely, no, it's still... Okay, so I'm going to... This is the cell. This is the cell that's going to do it all. And this cell is either 5, 7, or 9, I think. Which means... And it is in the 6th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 6 in this box is only in 2 positions, so it should only be able to be 5 or 8. It can't be either. It is not putting a 6 here, it's not putting a 6 here, it's putting a 6 into position 5. So that is 5, that is 6, that is 8. And this is 9, and this is 7, and this is 5. Okay, so this is 8, and this is 7, and that's our A digit, remember. 9, 8, 9, 6, 8 pair. That seems to have to be 9. That has to be 8, 8, 6, 7. Giving me an 8, 9 pair, making this a 6. These aren't 7 anymore. This is a 9 in the corner. I feel like singing for that. Everything I'm doing deserves a song. That's a 6, that's a 7, that's an 8, that's a 5. That's an 8, that's a 9. This is a 7. This is a 5 in the corner. This is a 9. This is a 7. This is a 1 in the corner, actually. I've done it. I've done it. I don't know if it's right, but I've done it. What a puzzle. Not quite as long as the other one, if it's correct. But my goodness me, what an extraordinary construction that is. Please be right. So it's been out for a month. It's been solved 67 times. Good grief. It's taken me a long time, but I am so thrilled to get through that. I cannot tell you. My goodness me, what a puzzle. What a puzzle. I mean, to have the idea of setting that, I really like the fact that you could sort of get into it, not quickly, but there were some beautiful discoveries to make. For example, you could only have one line segment in a region. That was crucial. And the fact that, I mean, it was, I think, if you're used to index lines, it was a reasonable thing to think about 9 in row 2. So you could sort of get started. I actually found it very hard to solve, as you saw, to solve the back end of it and the irregular Sudoku. And I had to resort to all sorts of shenanigans to make progress, but I did it. And I think some people sort of say this channel, it's a bit of a lesson for life. And I know what they mean, because we start a puzzle like that, it seems totally intractable. Even when you make a bit of progress, it still feels incredibly hard. But in the end, with perseverance, you can get there. And there is, I think, a small lesson there. But thank you so much. Anybody who's still watching now, I mean, it's extraordinary to me that people would stay with me in these sort of Lord of the Rings length editions. It's humbling. It's also humbling for me to be humbled by these brilliant setters. But IcyFruit, amazing. Big bad wolf indeed. It ate me up for breakfast and spat me out. But thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.